political one. This is an ethical violation.
Right.
It is a constitutional violation.
Right.
You can't hide it by saying, well, it's just politics and the Democrats are pushing back, or people who are opposed to Republican ideas are pushing back. This is a nonpartisan issue. This is an ethical violation that he's proposing, which is astonishing to me, given the fact that I would think a state senator would have a staff that he could turn to someone and say, research this issue for me before I write a letter, 3 pages, no mind you,
Right.
and make an issue out of this. But apparently that didn't happen. So I don't want this to get lost in the weeds. This is not a political issue. This is an ethical and a constitutional issue. Plain and simple, no matter if it was Senator Polistina or Mr. Polistina, the issue remains the same. I thought I saw a hand, I'm sorry.
Questions? Anybody else? Questions?
Yes.
So Tim, can you explain, they said they would appoint like 5 people. So now what we have.
No, 4 people.
4 people.
Right,
and,
wants to reduce it.
Yeah, so now we have councilmen representing each ward. How is that going to change or affect the wards in Atlantic City?
So instead of having council members representing each ward, you're going to have council members who are going to represent Stockton University, Atlantic Care, and the Casino Association, because nothing in this list includes the people.
That's right.
Nothing. I mean, I'm not misquoting him, am I? I'm reading it right. And there's no footnote. I'm looking for a footnote where it says "and the people," but no, it is about giving the business interests
Yes.
a say. And okay, look. There's nothing to say that these people can't run for office. And it's nothing to say that their platform can't be for the betterment of a particular business. That's for the voters to decide at that point. But to wipe out the whole process and to say, I recommend we do this, or at least let's talk about it, why would you talk about something that's unethical and a constitutional violation? So that's the problem. Yes, ma'am.
Has he outlined a process by which they will decide which city councilors stay and which go?
All of them go.
All of them are gone, and then they just put these other people on.
Right, but there's no how long they'll be there or who's appointing them. What happens if there's an election and it's a new state senator? None of that. Which, by the way, it doesn't really matter. But you would think that there would still be some details here, and there are no details. Yes, sir.
My name is Raymond Tyler from AtlanticCityFocus.com. Has Senator Polistina outlined any legal basis for even wanting to make this move other than Atlantic City can't get their act together? Last time I checked, that's not a legal basis for a senatorial move of any kind.
So I can't say that he did it. I can say that he did not do so in this letter. I can't say he hasn't done one because I don't know. But I can say that he makes clear that he doesn't understand why this is an issue. So, as his words, I'm trying to understand how reducing the number of council people and involving other industry representatives who have a vested future in the city is depriving citizenship rights and suppressing voting, but that is the concern being expressed. I don't understand why he don't understand. So I guess that we'll call that a push in terms of gaming, keeping with the theme and all. No outline of any sort, and quite honestly, no purpose. No purpose. You pointed it out, other than people not being able to, get their act together. I don't even know what that means. So for me, this isn't about, again, this isn't about whatever politics he may have. He left that at the door. This is about ethics, which we clearly have statutes that say this is an ethical violation. And this is about our Constitution, which is really on point for this particular issue. Yes, ma'am.
Well, this sounds like
they're going to go back to the commission form of government, or some phase of it, and remove the voting process altogether?
This is,
I want to know, how could something like this even come to the Senate floor?
It hasn't.
it has, I
No,
don't,
how could
could
it
it?
even be considered?
it wouldn't pass muster. The idea of, again, proposing something like this in the letter and then doubling down by saying, well, you guys don't want to listen to me, so I'm going to write to the state and see if I can get their attention on this issue. It's just trying to make something out of nothing. It's trying to bring some, I think, just trying to gin up support for a crazy idea. But it's never going to go anywhere in the state legislature.
There's a question in the back, Tim.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
He also stated that he wanted to change the layout of the city from 6 wards to 5 wards, which will upset. Right, because that means that our voting balance would be off. You know, and how are you gonna have people who do not contribute to our tax base make decisions for us? You don't buy food here, you don't even buy coffee here, you're buying your stuff at Wawa. So how are you supporting this community? And then going to tell us what you think we should do and how many of us can be in a certain ward to make the decisions for us. We don't want them to come in and do that. We have our 6 wards, we have our council people who we vote for, that we select to represent us. We don't need Stockton. Stockton is not taking care of us. Atlantic Care is not taking care of us. They're not our neighbors and our friends. They're not our co-workers. So how can we allow that? And is there a way that we can, if it comes up to it, can we get petitions together and we go to the legislature and help block it?
I hear what your concern is about that, and I'm going to address that last piece.
Okay,
I'm, you know, anything's possible.
okay.
But I would think that I would be playing the Powerball the night before anybody in the legislature try to present this to the body. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I pray that they're smart, and plus there's a group of attorneys there who know how to do research, and they know what's legal and what's not legal, what's ethical and not ethical. The issue isn't so much can it happen, it's the fact that a state senator who probably could recognize other things he could do with his office to help Atlantic City and other aspects of legislative District 2, really could do a lot to help Atlantic County is one of the poorest counties in the state of New Jersey. Could do a lot, but not to make this political, I'm just saying this particular proposal is unethical and unconstitutional. Yes, sir.
Keith, do you know what brought this on? And this comes to the council people as well. Have any idea what led Polistina, other than he thinks that Atlantic City can't get their act together? What brought this on for him to even put pen to paper to write this?
So I will share this letter with you because he does outline, his concerns. The city of Atlantic City has been plagued with one of the highest levels of poverty in the state of New Jersey. So is Atlantic County. In the late 70s, the casino industry was supported by the voters in New Jersey in order to provide a better future. So he does lay out, and I'll share this with you, he does lay out his concerns. And then he goes into, he fast forwards to 2016, he talks about the finances of the city. And then the next paragraph is this idea that the city can't get its act together and therefore we must replace the town council. So he provides a little bit of a framework as to why he thinks it arrived to this. How he went to such an extreme measure, that's an answer or question directly for the senator. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a statement to make. This is even more reason for each and every one that is able to and is legally allowed to vote, to register, to vote, and to get people in that are like-minded as us, and not like this gentleman who evidently has fallen off the rails. We don't need people like that as a senator of any state, but especially not the state that we live in. We need to make sure that we are registered, that we vote, and we are intelligent voters. And
I'm going to add that voting is your most basic, fundamental obligation to your community. But it's the base.
Yes.
If you wanna add power to it, show up at town council meetings, show up at school board meetings, participate in the process, the legislative process or local, and now you have become more powerful. Voting is easy. Voting, you don't have to leave your house anymore to do.
Yeah, but look at our
But-
numbers.
I know,
Numbers
I
are
know,
down.
and I have faith in that we will start realizing, not just with this scenario.
Oh, no.
You know, we have in Virginia, a school board that renamed 2 schools after Confederate, war individuals. So,
It just happened.
you know, that's because that school board was allowed to be taken over by these people. It's not just voting, you gotta participate, you gotta be there, you gotta stop this stuff until you go vote people out, or they start listening to you. So that's why I add to your point, not subtract, that voting is a base. Let's put the exponent to it, the power to it, by participating in the process. And that's really now civic engagement.
Tim, can I stop you for a minute?
Sure can.
We have the council president here, and I wanted to see if he wanted to make a statement. Everybody's important, but I wanted to, he's also a longtime member of the NAACP, and he's also on our radio program. So, Council President Randolph, did you want to make a statement? And thank you for your attendance, too.
I just want to say one thing. First of all, excuse my hat. You know, I'm on the radio with Clean every Tuesday. And that's what we talk about. You said voter registration, getting people out to vote. Our numbers are horrendous.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, even in the city, they're horrendous.
Yeah,
You know, and you don't want to be the dead horse, but this is not a dead horse. This is a crucial election.
Yes.
You know, and you see the type of things that they're trying to do to us, and they're doing it to people of color. So all I'm going to say is that we need to step it up.
Yes.
Whatever we need to do, we need to do it. We need to be here, we need to be there, wherever we need to be at. But we need to step it up, because this is very, very crucial. This is a real scary time for all of us. And November is right around the corner. We already know June who the representatives are. November is right around the corner. So we need to step it up. I know I am trying my best to step it up, so hopefully we all do. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Tim.
No, please, any other comments, questions? Yes, ma'am.
Couldn't they sign up at the age of 17, as long as they be at the age of 18 when the voting comes?
Yes.
Yes,
They just have a 17.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not that we can't get people to register to vote. We have ways to do it. We gotta get people to vote.
Yeah.
Right, and more importantly, you know, from my perspective, I don't think it's enough to share with people the historical record on voting for African Americans and people of color. I think you have to talk to people, when you talk to young people, you talk to people of all ages, in reality, you gotta tell them why they should vote. They have to have a return on their investment is their vote. And when we talk about, well, people died for this right, and it's all true, and it's impactful, it doesn't resonate today. What resonates is people have an understanding, and let's not tell them who to vote for.
No, no.
Let them figure that out on their own. You know, the idea that African Americans have to all be Democrats, that ship sailed. I think that we just want people, I want people to participate. You know, I mean, I have some other interests too, but for the most part, I want people to participate.
Anyone else? Questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so 2 things. Chris Denise and I do the board for the radio show. And one thing that I always try to encourage is not just voter registration, but for anyone who is available to be a poll worker, because there is a certain level of voter suppression that happens at the poll that people don't really think about. And it's very small things, just in the aspect of some of the poll workers aren't up on their training.
Right.
So there are things that some people may get, some obstacles that people are getting at the polls that no one's saying, no, that's not how that should be done.
Right.
Right? And like I said, it's easy work, and if you are passionate about voting, why not? It's a long day. It is a long day, but if you're passionate about voting, if if you have the time off, if you don't have the time off, if you can get PTO time, you know what I mean? It's a good experience. My question to you, going back, have you ever experienced, or do you have any knowledge of a position in the past that has gone from being an elected position to an appointed position?
Not in city council, at city council level, no, nor constitutionally can that be. I've never heard of that, where maybe there's, somebody could speak to a historical reference of a position being eliminated, that was once an elected position, and then it came back as an appointed position, but I don't know. I mean, I guess if we go back in history, maybe medical examiners, coroners used to be appointed, and now we have, I'm sorry, used to be elected, and now we have appointed. And I'm really grabbing at straws with that. I really don't know if there's one that I can think of, certainly not modern time. And I will add to what you just said about being a poll worker, that's another exponent to your power.
That's right.
Right, it's another, to your base, that's another round of strength to